let's flip it over to the Eagles, rebounding from their disappointing home loss to the Commanders on Monday night. They go to Indianapolis to take on the Fighting Jeff Saturdays. Here is Nick Sirianni, coach of the Eagles, regarding his message to the team after they lost their first game of the season on Monday night to the Commanders.
Yeah, messaging to the team, always is the same each week as far as let's get back to work, let's fix the mistakes that we had, and let's make sure that we're detailed in our process. And every day, just don't think about tomorrow, don't think about the next day. Same message every week, really. And you find different ways to say that, and just to make sure that everybody understands, we got to go back to work. We got to get better. We win, we got to get better. We lose, we got to get better. Is the process right? Keep going.
Don't let one loss become two. Don't lose sight of the task at hand. All the cliches that become cliches because they're true. That's the thing about cliches.
Yeah.
Cliches arise from ultimate fundamental truths that get applied over and over again to the point where people start rolling their eyes.
Right.
But they're true.
Right.
But they're true. You got a short week. You're traveling to a place where you probably feel like you can walk through the door and win. Oh, the Colts beat the Raiders. It was the Raiders. It all changes for Jeff Saturday and company when the Eagles roll into town. But, the Colts have that nothing-to-lose mindset. They're going to be dangerous. They're at home. They beat the Chiefs there, for crying out loud. So it's going to be all Nick Sirianni can do to get these guys focused. Matt Ryan's back. He's the guy for the rest of the year, barring injury. So this is not going to be easy for the Philadelphia Eagles. And they have to forget about what happened on Monday night and not let this thing spiral out of control.
Yeah, this is it. Don't just look at the record and look at this is not the best matchup in the world for Philadelphia, at least in my opinion. It's not. The Colts, the Colts defense, Mike, we've discussed this. It's real. It is definitely a top 5 defense. I mean, we know their offense has been crappy for the most of the year, and they're still a top 5 defense. That tells you how good they are. Wait, you guys are off the field every 3 plays. We're back on it. We're still a top 5 defense. I mean, so they'll have the right answers in how they play. And as long as DeForest Buckner's healthy in this football game, which I don't think he practiced yesterday, and he's like the one guy they can't afford not to have. They have to have him this week. But as long as he can play, I think they can give the Eagles offense some issues. I don't envision the Eagles just cutting through this Colts defense and exposing them and finding, some tactical advantage where they carve them up. And then, Mike, the other side of this is this. We saw the Eagles teams are running the ball on them a little bit here. The team running the ball, and the biggest problem with the Philadelphia Eagles is their pass rush is just it's not special. And you see, the other night, Heineke on every third down, he had plenty of time to let people develop downfield and do whatever he wanted. And last week, this is where it's hard not to think Jeff Saturday didn't have an effect on the football game. It was the best game of the year for the offensive line. I know it was the Raiders, to your point, but pass protection-wise, it was really good. And then running the football, it's like Jeff Saturday, came in and the offensive line fired off the ball like I hadn't seen them all year. So it's like offensive lineman to offensive lineman talk. He got them going a little bit. And the other thing he did, Mike, too, is he kind of they ran 3 run plays in the game the other day. Just 3. There was 3 run plays. That's all they did. And it was wait, we're going to do it, and we're going to do this really well, and we know how to block this against every look. And they ran the ball extremely effective and were dangerous. Matt Ryan didn't hold the ball too long. I could see them hanging around and giving the Eagles a little bit of a scare here, no doubt about it. I just think it's one of those games where they kind of match up with a team that, yes, better than them, but the matchup kind of fits them a little bit.
Well, and again, that raw will, hey, I'm conflicted because I still think this is not the way you go about hiring coaches.
Yeah, I hear you.
Plucking former players out of the wilderness. But now that it's happened, if Jeff Saturday can come in and kickstart an offensive line that wasn't performing, can speak to them, offensive lineman to offensive lineman, challenge them to do better, and it works. It does change things, and they're 4-5-1. They're in the thick of things in the AFC playoff chase. That's what's amazing to me. Imagine what the vibe is going to be if they pull this off and beat the Eagles and get to 5-5-1 after everything that went on 10 days ago. Are you kidding me? I love a great story. What do you root for? I root for a great story. And the Colts become a great story because they're thriving despite the dysfunction that their owner is not trying, but inadvertently and unwittingly foisting onto the rest of the team. Although this Saturday, in a roundabout way, he may have accidentally discovered plutonium.
He could have.
That's what's amazing about this.
He could have, and yeah, he might have. And again, Jeff Saturday, I think this has been on his radar, and it obviously has been on Jim Irsay's radar. And then listening even to, last week when it all happened, and Dan Orlovsky talking a little bit about, all the conversations he's had with Jeff Saturday about this. So, obviously his mind has been here to a degree where he hasn't left the tactical aspect, and he is thinking about those type of things. It's still really irregular. There's no question about that. But where, this was a special relationship here. Saturday is very smart, football mind. He's been around. He understands what it takes. He's got a great relationship with the owner, apparently, and has been in his ear and helping him out. And, that's where he gained the trust of Jim Irsay. It's still crazy, but, yeah, right now it looks like, hey, it wasn't that not stupid. It might have been crazy, but not stupid, and this guy might know what he's doing a little bit to kind of get the team on track.
We'll see what happens once there's more film of what the Jeff Saturday Colts are doing, what they did to beat the Raiders, what they'll do against the Eagles, what they do the following week. And this slate of games coming up for the Colts is not easy. And once again, we will see them 3 times. We'll see them on Monday Night Football against the Steelers, Sunday Night Football against the Cowboys, and then another Monday night game against the Chargers, I believe. So we'll get to see how it's going at a point when there's more evidence for other coaches to break down, because that's the process that you want to see. Does it work? Is Jeff Saturday going to be there until 3 in the morning? Is he going to be there grinding and grinding and grinding, looking for every edge? All those things we talk about all the time, self-scouting, scouting the other team, those little things that can make a difference, one play here, one play there, at the right time to make the margin go your way. We'll see. But so far, so good. They beat the Raiders. Slightly tougher challenge this week when the 8-1 Eagles come to town. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.